Welcome back, sports fans, and yeah, this is going to be week 15 of the NGDL. So my opponent this week is well, the Novato Noiverns, who have clinched my division already at 12-2. So they are the Blue Division champs. Unfortunately, our fleeting playoff hopes in the last few weeks left us out of the division race, and pretty much our wild card dreams are also dying and burning and crashing around us, as we just lost two of our last two games. Going from a reasonable 8-4 down to 8-6, and this is an important matchup. Not so much for Novato; they just want to try to finish the season with the best record, I would imagine. They're just playing for bragging rights. But us, the Dolphiones, we are fighting for our playoff dreams right now. If we lose this game, we won't technically be, well, we could be eliminated by the end of the week if we lose this game. But our only hope, if we win next week, if we drop this game, is if the PC Quilava Azulgrana, for them to lose out. And they're sitting 8-6 as well, but because they won earlier in the season, you might recall, they have the tiebreaker, and the head-to-head tiebreaker, so we need to finish above them. We need to finish, we need to have a better record. Sausage already won, I believe, their 9th game. So I think if they lose out, even if we lose this game, we can't beat them for a wild card spot. So it just comes down to this. I obviously the new owner of the PC Azola, God, I hate that name. Quilava, whatever. It used to be Eustace's team, but there is a new owner because he had to step down. He had a lot of work and stuff. But the new owner is pretty much just as good in President Tim. I can't trust him to lose 2 games. In fact, even if I win this game, even if I win the next 2 games, I could still conceivably be out of the playoffs if he wins 2 as well. So I definitely can't afford a loss. I need this win. And let's look at the teams. Last week I transacted for Scrafty. Much good as it did for me, and actually did pretty solidly against Fat Jesus. I decided to keep it around, not make any other transactions this week. Just see how the cards fall. My opponent, obviously, he's 12-2, so his roster is just absurdly good. And I even think I said it in the preseason power rankings that this was an absurdly good roster. It all kind of starts with Necrozma. That's his Uber, and he has can use any of the forms, but obviously that Dusk main form, I think that's what it's called. Did I get that one wrong? Let me look it up. The Dusk main form is going to be the main one. It's the one he used last time. I'm expecting him to bring it again because, last time I was thinking he might not because obviously the Ghost typing would help against Mega Blaziken potentially. But this time I see no reason for him not to go for it. It's the better of the two due to the typing. And it's just a monster. It's bulky. In fact, it's probably bulkier than Arceus. It is bulkier than Arceus with its ability. And, I'm hoping that my Arceus, which is the other Pokemon that I have this go-around, that he might be worried about, might be able to pull me through. But he also has a unique array of other threats. You have the Ribombee, you have the Nihilego, you have the Staraptor, all of them, kind of fast. In fact, 2 of them very fast, and all of them can hit extremely hard, especially against my team. He has Vaporeon, which can, do some walling. He has the Basculin, he has Torterra, so it's going to, if he brings that, it's going to make it hard for me, to work with Thundurus. So it's going to be very interesting here in this match. But our back is against the wall. This is basically a playoff game for us. So, it's the season on the table right now. That's all I'm going to say. Let's get into it. So right off the bat, his team is a little different than I expected. The first thing you're going to notice is there's no Ribombee, which I found interesting. And in addition, he is bringing Slacking, which can hit like a truck. But its ability might give me a window in order to set up. In addition, he's also bringing along, he's not bringing along Torterra, which is key for me because I did decide to go for a Specs Thundurus this time with Volt Switch. So, I didn't really want to see Torterra. Anyway, he's going to go ahead and leave the Staraptor. I am max defense, max HP, Uxie, so I know I can just stay in here. And instead of setting up a screen right off the bat, I decide instead to set up Stealth Rocks. I'd like to set them up, and he's just going to go out into his Vaporeon. I am expecting a Toxic here. So I decided to try to just knock this thing off. I really don't like Vaporeon. It can actually wall a majority of my team. Thundurus is really the only thing that I have that can hit it really hard. So, I feel like I want to get rid of those leftovers, which will nerf its ability to, stall with its Wish Protect nonsense. Obviously, he can still do the Wish Protect, but he doesn't get the additional leftovers recovery on top of it. So I'm going to go ahead and set up some screens now. He's going to go for a Wish, which is a smart play. And I'm like, I'm just going to go for my second screen, see if I can't get early advantage here with dual screens. But he's going to be pretty smart going out into a Staraptor, and I'm like, oh crap, this thing probably has defog. But what are you going to do? He's probably going to go for it, and I kind of know that, but instead of trying to like set up another screen or setting up Stealth Rocks again, because defog will also get rid of my screens, I decided to knock this thing off, because in the first battle, Banded Staraptor was a big problem for me, and a potential Scarf Staraptor is going to be just as big of a problem. So he does go for the defog, so that's a good move, and I'm just going to go ahead and knock that Choice Scarf off. So that's fine, because now this thing is going to be a little bit slower, and I don't have to worry about Sticky Whips this time around because Rabombi is not here. So yeah, he's just going to go ahead and go for the U-turn. It does kill Uxie, and I don't have my screens up, I don't have my Stealth Rocks up, but I did bring a second Stealth Rocker on this team, so I'm not super worried about it, and honestly, getting those two things knocked off is really useful for me. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go into my Thundurus, and I'm just going to go for a Volt Switch here against this Vaporeon, because he had to reveal his Pokemon first. Obviously, I'm just going to go in my Thundurus. He's going to protect, see what I do. I'm going to Volt Switch, and he doesn't want to take that, so he's going to switch out into Squishy here. Obviously, Nihilego has quite a great special defense stat, but I do get to switch out into whatever I want. I'm going to go into my Donphan. Even if he does have like a surprise move that will hurt Donphan a lot, I still have my Sturdy up, so I know that I can very least survive a hit, and he's not going to want to risk his Nihilego, so I feel confident just going for another Stealth Rock, so I'm going to be able to get those up again, which is always critical. And in comes his Vaporeon again, and I'm going to switch out because I do not want to take a Scald or whatever. I'm kind of expecting a Wish here, but no, instead he just goes for the Scald against my incoming Thundurus. It does do a decent chunk since Thundurus is obviously not bulky in the slightest. And here I'm going to go for the Specs Thunderbolt, hoping to catch him off guard. And indeed, he did say that he would have been able to survive it if it wasn't for Specs, so he knows I'm Specs. He was EV'd special defensively, so that is awesome because I'm able to take that guy out. But in comes the Nihilego, so he knows obviously I'm Specs now, so I'm thinking this thing's going to be Scarfed. And I decided to go with Scrafty, who I brought along. I was in between Scrafty or Spiritomb this week. I eventually decided Scrafty because of the Intimidate access. And I'm glad I did because, well, I guess Spiritomb would have been able to take that well too, but obviously I'm actually bringing a very similar set, but this time I am bringing Head Smash, and I'm like, he's going to go into Staraptor. I can't kill him without Head Smash, so I'm just going to go for that, and I get the prediction I needed. Staraptor is going to be able to go down, and yeah, that was a critical prediction, because that Staraptor, even without the Scarf, you know, it could defog, it could still hit really hard, because it's a freaking Staraptor. But that's pretty awesome. So in comes Regirock. I'm not really sure how much damage I'm going to be able to do here with Drain Punch, but I'm going to go for it anyway. I know he's probably just going to want to set up his own hazards, and he does have Rocky Helmet, so that does kind of nerf the healing I get back. But it still looks like maybe a 3-hit KO, so I'm just going to keep going. Definitely a 3-hit KO. I'm just going to keep going for it. Not entirely sure what this thing has to do to me. And yeah, he ends up going for the Toxic, so that's alright. I mean, it kind of hurts my tanky Scrafty, but whatever. So here I'm thinking maybe he wants to, you know, keep the Regirock around as death fodder. I don't know. I was kind of like feeling, well, there's not really a whole lot of downside to him just going out into like his Necrozma or something. So I decided just to go for the knockoff. Or sorry, I go for the Drain Punch this turn as he protects to get more toxic damage. But I decided to switch it up this turn, and I decided to try to go for the knockoff, which ends up being kind of a mistake because it doesn't kill it and he doesn't switch. So I didn't get the you know, prediction I wanted. But it will go, you know, leave this thing at really low HP. It reveals the counter. I guess he was bringing out for Arceus, but now it's too low to really matter. So I'm going to go into my Arceus, and I'm just going to go ahead and try to set up a Swords Dance. So in comes this Slacking. And I was like, okay, at +2, I should be able to kill with a Breakback Blitz. I have Normalium Z, but then at the last second, right, I'm thinking, oh god, what if this thing's Scarfed? Maybe it can kill me. I'm running out of time, so I'm like, okay, let's play this safe move in Z-Refresh, which ends up being a horribly mistimed Z-Refresh, because all it does is negate my Stealth Rock recovery, and then I'm going to take this Choice Banded Giga Impact, which does not kill me, and actually doing the calc, I was saved by my horribly mistimed Z-Refresh. Now granted, I think a Breakback Blitz would have killed him anyway, but if I didn't Z-Refresh there, it did something like anything else, I would have died. I would have been a guaranteed kill after Stealth Rock, so my mistimed Z-Refresh actually ends up doing something. I get my other SD off, and in comes God Nebby. Now, obviously, its ability makes it really hard to one-shot, but there we go. God, thank God. Just thank God. Praise Arceus, because, yeah, we're going to be able to win against this nearly undefeatable team, and advance to 9-6 as Arceus just cleans up now that it's got plus 4. And, yeah, this thing is not going to be able to survive. So, wow. Soltfire is a great battler. I actually did get a little lucky this time. Even at full HP, that was an adamant, choice banded, Giga Impact. I think he still had like a 60-something% chance to kill my Arceus, and I did survive. So there is some luck there. But you know what? After the first battle with the missed Fire Blast, I don't really feel that bad. And I feel great about winning. And you know, you never want to see hacks, but it was really more like a coin flip. And I'm glad that this time the coin flip went in my favor, because otherwise I would have. I mean, I don't know what I would have done. I mean, I think I might have been able to, you know, play because I still had my Ninetales in the back. But it would have been a little more, what's the word? It would have been a little more dirty. But our playoff dreams are still alive, and that just feels good right now. We need to win our last battle against One Crash 94. I think the only way we can get in if we lose to One Crash 94 is, like I said, if President Tim loses out, which is unlikely. Even if I do beat him, I still need either one of two things. I need President Tim to lose one of his last 2 games, or I need Sausage, who actually plays the other team in our conference, and I don't play him. There's one team in the conference that every team doesn't play, and I didn't play the Niños Pequeños, his team, but he does have the tiebreaker due to a better conference record, so I would need him to lose twice in order to take his playoff spot with a win. So it's still, you know, coming down to the last game, but it feels good to just be alive and get a win against a critical, probably the best team in the league, one of the best teams in the league, in Soltfire's Novato Noiverns. Especially it feels good because, I won, I ending my division, my division games with a win, which was super bad for me. Like, this entire division, all these division games were horrible. I think this makes me 3-5, so I have one of the worst division records despite being a playoff hopeful. But yeah, that's the state of the Miami Dolphiones going into the final week, and hopefully I'll be able to pull ahead against One Crash 94 and not get eliminated. So yeah. Anyway, today's question of the day is going to be: what was your first competitive Pokemon that you ever made or bred or built? Pretty much, everyone must have a first. So even if you genned your first team, there was still a Pokemon that you gen first. As for me, it was actually back, I believe, in Gen 3. And I was into Net Battle in Gen 3. No, I think actually my first competitive Pokemon, if you don't count Net Battle, would have been Gen 4. And it was a Ninjask because I wanted to, because I was playing around with my friends. We did an in real life tournament, which was a lot of fun. But I wanted to build a Baton Pass team with Ninjask and Baton Passing, Speed Boosts, and possibly Sword Stances. So that was actually my first competitive Pokemon that I ever had, and I bred it myself. And I kind of messed up because I think I found out later that it did not have max speed because I miscounted or something. It actually had a little bit of special defense EVs. Whoops. But yeah, so that is my first competitive Pokemon I ever had. I don't think I ever used it in a Wi-Fi battle. Maybe I did once or twice after fixing it. But yeah, leave a comment about that and see you guys again next time. Later.